From Television City in Hollywood, the Jack Benny Program with Jack's distinguished guest, Mr. Harry S.Truman.
Hello, Mr. Benny's dressing room. No, you can't talk to him now. He's on stage rehearsing. Of course he rehearses. Now, Lynn, he could not live a sneeze in a pepper factory. You better call him later. Okay, goodbye. Boss, here's your soup for the show.
Put it back in the closet. I don't want it. I'm not going to do a show today.
Jack, there was no reason for you to rush off the stage in the middle of rehearsal. The show is 20 seconds too long, and as the director, I had to cut out something.
All right, it's 20 seconds too long. You didn't have to cut out that line.
But, Jack...
Look it, I don't care how long it was. I'm not going to do that show unless you put that line back into it. Okay.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah?
Put back that line about Benny's blue eyes.
And tell him to put it in exactly the way it was.
And put it in exactly the way it was.
Well, how was it?
Well, the girl says to Benny, "Your eyes are blue, aren't they?" And Benny says, "Bluer than the seat of the last man on a short toboggan."
Oh, brother! Never mind. Now, see that stays in.
Okay.
I never saw it to fail. Always aggravate me before a show. Rochester,
Yes, sir.
before I get made up, maybe I ought to shave. Huh?
Oh, well, let me give you the equipment.
All right, I'm so mad.
Here's your razor,
Yeah.
your shaving cream, and your baseball cap.
I don't know, I look kind of silly, don't I?
I know, but you haven't bought a razor blade in 10 years.
Oh, well. Come in. Fellas, look, I gotta shave and get made up. I'm busy now, so don't bother me.
Oh, now, wait a minute, Jack. I think you ought to hear the commercial the sportsmen are going to do. You know they're going to do the minute waltz.
The minute waltz?
Yeah.
For the commercial?
That's right.
All right. Well, let's hear it, and then let me get through
Okay,
with
go ahead,
everything.
fellas.
Go ahead, let's hear it.
Do your duty, do lots for beauty. Tra-la-la, 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 tra-la-la. Get protection for your complexion. Cream and Rich Lux is the soap that will keep your skin so soft.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold it. Just one. Don, I forgot to tell you, but the director came in and told us that we were 20 seconds too long, you see. So the boys will have to do the minute waltz in 40 seconds.
The minute waltz in 40 seconds? That's ridiculous. Look, Jack, if you want 20 seconds, why don't you take out that crummy line about your blue eyes?
That line stays in.
Oh, brother.
I'll cut that out. Now, look, Don, they're going to have to do the minute waltz in 40 seconds, and that settles it.
Look, Jack, if they sing that fast, nobody will understand when they say that new Lux is cream enriched with a lather that creams soften skin and helps purify away complexion troublemakers. That's very important beauty news.
Well, Don, that's your problem. Anyway, they will be able to do it in 40 seconds.
But, Jack, it's just impossible
I'll
to do
bet
the
you
minute
$1.
waltz.
I'll bet you $1 they can do the minute
Oh, well,
waltz
I'll
in 40
take
seconds.
that bet.
All right,
you
here, and I'll let you hold the money.
Okay.
All right, I'll show you they can do it in 40 seconds. Now, take it. Go ahead.
Do your duty, do lots for beauty. Get complexion. Cream in your sock is the soap that will keep your skin so soft, so smooth, beautifully clear. New Lux of Purify, that's our important, exciting beauty news of the year. Lovely stars of Hollywood have a way when you're full of hair and speed the skin so smooth, so clear. Using New Lux with perseverance. Your beauty, New Lux for beauty. Try the New Lux for glamour, for lots of glam. Cream is mixed up in the lather that actually promise help to purify skin. New Lux is wonderful, thrilling, wonderful, double beauty promise again.
It was a cinch. I told you they could do it, Don.
Well, all right, Jack. See you later.
Okay.
Come on, fella.
Now, don't argue with me after this.
Okay.
I know what I'm talking about. Well, I guess I better start shaving. Oh, yes. Oh, darn those baseball commercials. They drive me nuts. Come in.
Mr. Benny?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Well, I hope I'm not intruding. I'm Mrs. King, and my son is a photographer in Kansas City. And so I just brought
In Kansas City?
Mm-hmm.
You know, honey, I was there not long ago.
I know! He took this picture when you were there. And I would love to have it autographed.
Well, certainly. Oh, for heaven's sake, there's a picture of Mr. Truman and me. It's taken right under that photograph of President Eisenhower. Gee, did you say your son took this picture?
Yes. And will you autograph it for me?
Well, I'll be glad to. Of course I will. Pen right here somewhere.
By the way, how did you happen to be there with Mr. Truman?
Oh, sit down. Sit down. I'll tell you all about it. Well, you see, Mr. Truman and I, we've been friends for many, many years, for a long time. And I gave a concert in Kansas City, some time ago, and it was done for the Musicians' Pension Fund, you see, and Mr. Truman ran this concert. So when the concert was over, he came backstage, and he invited me to come to Independence, Missouri, to visit the Truman Library. He wanted me to really see this library. It was just wonderful. So I got up real early the next morning and drove all the way to Independence. How do you do? I have an appointment with Mr. Truman. I'm Jack Benny.
Oh, yes, Mr. Benny. Mr. Truman expects you. Would you mind waiting?
No, not at all. Thank you. Yum da dee da dum da dee da dum da dee da dum dum da dee da dum da dee da dum. Oh, isn't this nice? Here's a review of the concert I gave last night in Kansas City.
Oh, yes, I was there.
Oh, were you? Oh, good. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought I was in rare form with the violin last night. What did you think of my rendition of the Mendelssohn Concerto?
Mendelssohn Concerto? Oh, you must have played that after I left.
You mean you left in the middle of my concert?
Oh, well, I had to go to the airport to meet some dignitaries coming in from Washington.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess it must have been important because quite a few other people got up and left at the same time. But I say, this is a lovely place, you know. I couldn't help thinking as I came in here into the entrance here what a beautiful library this is, what a wonderful building, you know.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Mr. Truman is very proud of it. You know, it represents an investment of over $20 million.
$20 million? Gee, let's see, at a return of 5%, the profit would be,
Well, there's no profit.
No profit?
No. See, the money that built the Harry S. Truman Library was contributed from all over the country, so it really belongs to the people of the United States.
Oh, I understand. Yeah. You know, Miss...
Conway.
Miss Conway. Yes, Miss Conway. You know, in my hometown in Waukegan, Illinois, they did a very nice thing recently. You know, they're building a new junior high school, and they're naming it after me.
Well, isn't that nice?
Isn't it? I think it is. And they have two other high schools there, junior high school, the Daniel Webster and the Thomas Jefferson. There. Just imagine. Webster, Jefferson, and Benny. Yeah, I'm in pretty good company, I think, don't you?
What a shame the other two don't know about it.
Yes, I would think so.
Oh.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, hello, Dickie.
Oh, do you know that Boy Scout?
Yes. This morning he helped me across the street.
Well, you can go in now, Mr. Benny.
Oh, thank you.
Right through this door and then down the short hall at the right.
And Mrs. Truman will
Yes.
see me now. Yeah, da-dee-da-dum, da-dee-da-dum,
Certainly glad to see you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, I'll be glad to. I'm certainly glad that you invited me over here to visit your library. Always wanted to see it.
Well, I'm certainly glad you can make it.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself.
I know I will. And incidentally, Mr. Truman, it was an honor, a real honor, having you stay through my entire violin concert last night, especially with all those dignitaries arriving at the airport.
What dignitaries?
Well, you certainly have a nice office here. Do you spend much time here?
Yes, I spend a great deal of time here. In fact, I'm here every day in the week when I'm at home at all, and we have plenty of work to do. As a matter of fact, I have a staff of 4 secretaries and sometimes 5 who do nothing but answer the bushels of mail I get.
Well, I know what you mean. I mean, answering the mail can really be a problem. You know, Mr. Truman, in 1946, I had 12 people, imagine, 12, working night and day just on letters that I received.
1946? Wasn't that the year you had I Can't Stand Jack Benny contest?
Yes. You know, my sister won first prize. Tell me, Mr. Truman, all these things you officer, all these mementos when you were president?
Not all of them. A great many of them are things that were accumulated while I was in the White House, and they're of use now. Here's a thing right here that's interesting. That's the seal of the President of the United States, and it's made out of solid gold. And
solid gold.
Got some other things here. This is a globe over here that I used while I was in the White House, and I always keep it in sight with all the trouble spots in the world turned up. Always have a notion that sometime or other maybe I can do something about it, but I doubt it. And I'm glad you like the look of that presidential seal.
Solid gold.
Solid gold, that's right. Now, since we've been talking about the things that are of interest here in this building, I thought maybe you might be interested in the purpose of the library.
I certainly am, Mr. Truman.
Its intention is so the youngsters, students particularly, can learn what the office means, what the presidents have to do, and what they have to do to keep this free government of ours and keep it going as it was from the time of our founding fathers to date. It's the greatest government in the history of the world. And I take great pleasure in showing the youngsters what we have. Now, we have back here about 5 million documents that were accumulated while I was President of the United States. And every document that the President handles is really an official document, whether it's an official paper or a letter taken the night off a musician when he criticizes your daughter. All right, we can just go and take a look at them.
Oh, fine.
Go and take a look at them.
I certainly would like to see them.
All right.
Yes.
Check. Well, Jack, we're entering a presidential room in the library, which jobs that the president has to do, and there's a list of them.
He's chief executive, chief of state, legislative planner and partner with Congress, head of his political party, commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and director of foreign relations.
Hey, you know, I just read all of that without my glasses. We're talking about chief executive. Okay. Now, Jack, we come to the first case in the presidential room, which has to do with the job as chief executive of the United States. The greatest job in the history of the world. And as you see, he has various things to do. There's a meeting with his advisors and the members of congressional committees. Here's a cabinet meeting, and over here where General Marshall is being sworn in as Chief Justice of the United States, as either Chief Justice of the United States, as Secretary of State. And then afterwards, he went to Harvard and made that great speech which ended up in the Marshall Plan, and which I think is one of the greatest things that ever happened in the history of this country. May I ask you a personal question, please? Certainly. Well, why is it that whenever you want to emphasize something, you always gesture with your hands like this? I noticed it. I got that way making pictures to the people when I was trying to win them. Oh. Why do you do that? Well, you cover up that wristwatch, afraid somebody will steal it? It started out that way, and then it turned out to be a habit. And over on this side, you find another number of jobs for the president as chief of state. He's making an Indian chief. You see there a picture with Jack Benny in it. What you see? Oh, yeah, that's when I did a show. That's right. And a wonderful show it was. We all appreciated it very highly. Well, thank you. And then here's an Oscar that's received for imitating Mr. Keltenborn when he said I couldn't be elected in 1948. And he received one for imitating me, imitating him. That's picture of me in there. All the rest of them there. Come on, Jack. I'm coming. Here's another one of the most important jobs of the president. That's as a legislative partner and one who works with Congress to get the certain messages through and bills that are necessary to make the country run. You'll see up there a copy of a message on the State of the Union. You'll see here a picture of the Big Four as they were constituted when I was President of the United States. And a microphone, the first one I ever used, and down here is a pen I used to sign most important bills with. You know, Mr. Truman, I was thinking how much time it must have required, you know, to read. You had to do so much reading before you signed anything. That's true. I was used to it. I had read all the books in the Independence Library between the ages of 9 and 14, and it was no trouble for me to read, and in those days we didn't have any television. That's right.
You know, when I was 9 years old, we didn't have television either. Of course, we didn't use it. See, the Indians were real then.
Next, you'll see here the first job of the President of the United States as head of his political party, one which I like very much. You'll see in this case the pictures of what the President does as head of his political party. That's when Dewey was elected President of the United States. Next, this case shows that President in one of his most important roles as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. And you see in this case a model of the first atomic submarine. I was present when the keel was laid. Here's a jet flying machine that was first made while I was in the White House. Model here is a model of the engine in the old B-36, the great bomber. Then you see up there in the middle a picture of my Chiefs of Staff, General Vandenberg, Admiral Denfield, and General Bradley.
Oh, Mr. Truman, you know, that reminds me. I remember when that picture was taken, because I happened to be in Washington, D.C. at the time. And what a thrill it was meeting all these great men. I found out one thing, that the more important a man is, the friendlier he is.
You're absolutely right. I agree with you 100%. That's as true as it can be. And, Jack, from what you say, I imagine that you found General Vandenberg a very interesting person.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to meet General Vandenberg. You see, the day I was supposed to meet him, I had a luncheon appointment with Admiral Denfield.
Then you met Admiral Denfield, I suppose.
Well, no, you see, just as I was leaving the hotel room, to have lunch with Admiral Denfield, I got a telephone call from General Bradley. No, wrong number. Of course, that wasn't your fault, Mr. Truman. That could happen, you know, under any administration.
Jack, aren't you talking a long way around just to tell me that you didn't meet anybody?
Oh, no. On the contrary, Mr. Truman. I did meet one very important person whose grasp on the international situation was absolutely amazing. You know, in fact, I had lunch with him twice. His name was Lynch, Edward Lynch.
Edward J. Lynch?
Yes. Do you know him?
Well, I should. He was my chauffeur.
You must have paid him well. He bought the lunch.
Jackson, this case is here, shows the president as the maker of the foreign policy of the United States. Nobody can decide what the foreign policy is but the president. You see, in this case, there's a model in Williamsburg on which a great many most important meetings were held. Up there is the table on which the United Nations has a picture of the signing of the United Nations Charter.
That's one of the most interesting in the
Well, you find the table on which that charter was signed out in front here. Everybody gets a chance to see it.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Truman, what's in that case there?
Well, those are things that were presented to me when I was 75 years old on the 8th of May.
75 years old. Gosh, you're looking wonderful.
Well, I feel that way. I'd like you to tell me the truth if I ask you a question. Will you do that?
What's that?
How old are you? I said I want you to tell me the truth, and I want to know how old you are.
Well,
from that picture.
no, it did make it a little difficult.
Well, Jack, that takes care of the 6 jobs of the President of the United States. These other cases over here, as you see, contain pictures and historical documents from every President of the United States to date. I am interested in all of them, particularly in Jefferson and Polk and Jackson. And, Jack, I presume that your favorite would be Abraham Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln, my favorite president? Why would you say that?
Well, I thought that any man who'd walk 12 miles to return a library book and save 3 cents would be the kind of man that you fall for.
I see what you mean.
Come on now, let's go on back to the office and we'll stop at some of the other rooms.
Yes, sir.
Miss Conley, would you see that Mr. Benny and I are not disturbed for a while?
Yes, sir.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show. It was a great honor having Mr. Truman as my guest. And I truly wish that everybody in the United States of America, every man, woman, and child, could visit the Truman Library because it is really something to see. Next week, be sure to see George Gobel, presented by Stripe, Lever Brothers' new red and white toothpaste. And then I'll be back 2 weeks from today. Thank you very much.
The most powerful idea in the world today is peace. To strengthen the United Nations work for peace, write for a free booklet to U.S. or the U.N. Box 1959, Washington 13, D.C. The Jack Benny program is a J&M production.